Hey, sofrito lovers, this is Ben Ramos bringing you another mukbang from my palatial home here in the Northwest Bronx. The Bronx is the home of hip hop and salsa. I am bringing you some pasteles. Happy Puerto Rican Heritage Month. All of my mukbangs this month are going to revolve around the deliciousness that is Puerto Rican cooking, and these are pasteles. What are pasteles? Pasteles, just to give you a frame of reference, think of tamales, Mexican tamales, the wonderful cornmeal tamales that are made that are then filled with meat. Pasteles are not made of cornmeal. They're made from green bananas and sometimes plantains. They're basically the same thing. They're green banana dough or plantain dough, and then they're spread out. You spread the dough out, you put meat in it, you wrap it up and basically boil them in a leaf. Tamales are boiled in corn husks. You boil these in banana leaves or plantain leaves. So essentially, a lot of people love to say, well, they're the Puerto Rican tamal. They're just made of green bananas. Yes, in a way, they are that because their origins are indigenous, and the indigenous peoples of the Americas were known for making a lot of doughs out of corn or out of yuca or some other root vegetables. Now, where pasteles received their African influence is when African slaves were brought to Puerto Rico in the Caribbean. They brought with them things like plantains and green bananas and the culture of creating doughs from plantains and green bananas. So this is an interesting fusion of like indigenous European and African cookery and use of vegetables. So very quintessential Puerto Rican cuisine. You see those indigenous traditions and heritage. You see the the Spanish colonial influence, and you see the African influence as well. So little bit of a culinary history of what pasteles are. I grew up eating them on the holidays. Pasteles are like definitely holiday fare. Holidays being, especially those of us Boricuas that are born and raised in diaspora, pasteles were eaten during Thanksgiving, Christmas, Easter time, and if you were lucky, maybe sometimes during your birthday, your mom would make you some pasteles. So look, I'm talking a lot and eating very little. Sofrito lovers, there are a lot of Boricuas that are watching this right now, infuriated with me. Why? Because I put ketchup on my pasteles. There are Puerto Rican purists who think this is disgusting to put ketchup on pasteles. Well, to make it even worse, it's ketchup and hot sauce. Some people say it's a travesty, it's disgusting, it's gross. It shows my Americanization, which I find hilarious because there are tons of Boricuas born and raised in the island that do this as well. People who've never lived in diaspora. These pasteles are chicken. Usually pasteles are made with pork. But you can have pasteles made with chicken. In fact, many people throughout the island have their recipes for making pasteles with corned beef inside, beef, goat, seafood of all type. I have known people to make pasteles of bacalao, of salt, codfish. You put in it what you want. The culinary arts are a balance of tradition and innovation and creativity. Do I like my classic pasteles made with pork? Absolutely. Do I love these chicken ones? I had bacalao pasteles one time. Loved it. Delicious. So frito lovers, things are good. I'm having my pasteles. I'm not going to say where I got them from. I have a couple more in the freezer. early Thanksgiving gift. Never you mind. But things are good. Sofrito lovers, things are good. I am looking forward to next week. I don't really celebrate Thanksgiving. I'm looking forward to the 4-day weekend. I'm looking forward to getting paid on Wednesday instead of Friday. I don't celebrate Thanksgiving. Long, complicated political story. I've stopped celebrating Thanksgiving for a long time. I'm not going to preach about the hypocrisy and the horror of what happened to indigenous people. I'm not going to get into it. The one thing I will say is that I will enjoy a meal that day with friends and family. I'll go there. I'll be the obnoxious political person bringing up all the contradictions and hypocrisy of it. I'm not too sure exactly what I'm doing. I have some invites. I know, right? I'm so lucky I got invites. I'm also thinking about going to Day of Mourning. Day of Mourning is a national protest that takes place in Massachusetts, denouncing, the European invasion and colonization of the Americas. It's an activity that's also organized by a lot of indigenous tribes that refer to Thanksgiving as Day of Mourning. Mourning colonization, genocide, exploitation, all that good stuff. I know people are like, wow, that sounds like that's going to be fun. It's a powerful event to be a part of. I haven't been a part of it in a very long time. And then at the end of the protest, our indigenous hosts tend to feed us with a massive feast. Again, I might be going to that. I might be, I've got multiple things. I haven't made a decision. It's a little rough because you guys know I'm solo. Today's Wednesday. Yesterday, Tuesday, was a solid week that David's been gone. David's in California working on a renovation with his family. David's not coming back until Tuesday, December 5th. He left on Tuesday, November 7th. He comes back Tuesday, December 5th. So, it's hard because I'm solo. I'm talking with friends and trying to spend time with people and socializing as much as I can. But, I'm still alone. I still go to bed alone at night. And I wake up early in the morning without him here. I miss him. I miss his hugs and kisses and smoochies and cuddles. But it's really, really been important and very necessary for him to be in California right now. Every time I talk to him, the amount of work that's getting done, the amount of stress release on his family, dealing with renovations, dealing with aging parents, dealing with a lot of stress left and right. David being there is such a good service for everyone. And also it's just a great morale boost for his parents. His parents love seeing him. David spends the majority of his time on the East Coast with me. So when his parents get to have him for a period of time, they're so happy. It uplifts their spirits. And what's great is also he's there during this period of time where it's going to be Thanksgiving. They do celebrate Thanksgiving and they love having their baby boy there. Now, I know they wish they had their other baby boy there, but I gotta work. I gotta be in New York. And flights are super expensive, and I had flirted with the idea of trying to go to California, and then I saw how much it was costing, and I was like, ain't none of us that comfortable and easygoing with money that we were going to afford something like that. So David and I have spent plenty of Thanksgivings and turkey days and Thankstakings and whichever varied name for this holiday you want to give it together. He can spend this one with his family, and I'll either be in Massachusetts protesting with my sister and her family, laughing and giggling, or with a good friend of ours, Rosas, enjoying the day with friends and family, and a lot of other people, some who celebrate, some who don't, all that good stuff. What are you doing? Mira tú, ¿qué tú estás haciendo? ¿Qué tú vas a hacer el día del pavo? What are you going to do on Turkey Day? In Spanish, Thanksgiving has a lot of different names and a lot of different nicknames. Some people say el día de acción de dar gracia, the day of giving thanks. Some people call it el día del pavo, the day of the turkey. I've heard el día del pavo americano, the day of the American turkey, because, you know, turkeys are actually found all over North and South America and Mexico. And some people also say el día de gracia, the day of thanking people or thankfulness. So depending on where you're from, lots of different names. What are you doing? Do you even celebrate it? I know I've got a lot of Boricuas in this channel. Some celebrate it, some don't. Non-Boricuas. Do you celebrate it? Do you don't? What do you do? Where are you going? Again, I'm lucky. I got some options. But between you and I, going to Day of Mourning feels kind of special. Like I know, right? Like, really, Ben, you want to spend your Turkey Day, Thanksgiving, whatever, protesting? I kind of do. I haven't been to Day of Mourning since I was a kid. A kid as in like my late teens, early 20s. Yeah, a kid. And I went, and it was one of the most powerful special events. It's a beautiful celebration of indigenous culture. It's a protest. It's a festival. It's a concert. It's all these wonderful things. I may go. I have to see how I feel, because I'm also working Monday through Wednesday. And if I go to Day of Mourning, I got to get up super early on Thursday to catch a bus to go to Massachusetts. I don't know yet, but just thinking. I like having options. All right, sofrito lovers. Things are good. It's been a rough week, Miss David, but again, I'm doing well. The pastel is good. Maybe the masa, the dough, is a little bit harder than I'm used to, but that's okay. Firm masa, there's nothing wrong with firm masa. Better than it being real super moist and crumbly and mushy. Pasteles, tamales, and all of those things in that vein, in that world, are not easy to make. This is a family production. You got some family making the dough, some people rolling it out, some people tying up 1,000. It's like you got to get the whole family involved in a conveyor belt style. These things are delicious, amazing, incredible, but the work that goes into making these, every time you're done, finished making like 60, 70, 80, 100 pasteles, you're like, thank God this only happens on particular holidays. And just thinking about it, there are a lot of families that they'll go, if I'm making pasteles for Thanksgiving, I'm not making for Christmas. And if I'm making for Christmas, I'm not making for Easter. A lot of time, energy, and money. But they're incredible, and they're worth it. There are a lot of little old Puerto Rican grandmas that will make these with her grandchildren and her family and friends and sell them by the dozen. una junta, sell them by the dozen. And like me, I used to have a couple of Boricua grannies that I used to be able to buy off of. Some have passed, some are ill, some don't do them anymore. So I am on the lookout. I could always make them. I haven't made pasteles since I was a child. As a kid, my mother was like, if you want to make, everybody here wants to eat pasteles, good. Then everybody here is working on them because I'm not doing all of that by myself. So, of course, it was like a tradition. You're Puerto Rican, you want pasteles, you making pasteles. You're a part of that process somehow. Because my mother was like, I'm not making this by myself. Are you crazy? My mom was like, if I'm making them by myself, I'm making a couple for me. So, quien quiere comer pasteles tiene que hacer pasteles. You want to eat pasteles, you got to make pasteles. But I haven't made them as an adult. And, maybe, one year, one of these holidays, I'm going to rustle up some friends and be like, mi gente, let's do a pastele conveyor line, work factory thing. And then we'll all make a bunch of pasteles and then divvy them out. Sounds like a plan. Vamos away. All right. So, frito lovers, it's good to catch up with you guys. I hope you guys are doing well. Go out there, go have some culinary adventures. Go taste for yourself. Good catching up, you guys. Como siempre, mucho, mucho amor.